Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube.com. This is Travis Semulin Sours. We're jumping into a Zendikar Rising Best of 3 traditional draft on MTG Arena. If you'd like to watch everything live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. This was not supposed to be the YouTube draft. I tried recording the previous one and clicked the wrong button. Obviously, we drafted a great deck and got a 3-0, so let's see what happens here. Cards I'm interested in are Into the Royal Rabid Bite and Nahiri's Binding. I wouldn't hate the Kalini Ambush either. This is a pretty good pack. Yeah, I expect an 0-2 drop here. I wish this pack had a little bit better direction, but it doesn't. Such is the nature of things. I think I'll start with the End of the Royal. I think you could pick almost any of these cards and be off to a reasonable start, but we're not going to know what's actually open until about pick 5. Wow, talk about a power level disparity. The difference between the previous pack and this one is colossal. What's up, Fuzzy? How you been? Because there's stone nothing for us here. Like, is the best card Molten Blast? Yeah, I suppose you could take 30 gems and move along with your life. I mean, we could also try to make a Forsaken Monument deck work and pick all the pack beasts. Shelter's the best card, fair. I don't particularly like white, but it is the best card. Let's take the best card and see where we go. I usually don't play white. I've been particularly unhappy with it in this format. Man, another one where the packs are just not really here. We could potentially take a Scion of the Swarm and see if clerical things are open. Although I've typically been pretty unimpressed with that card as well. I don't think either of these cards are good enough that we should consider them like a reason to be playing the color. So I'm kind of torn between the Scythe Cat and the Scion. This is a little bit of a white-black card. But I think I can take it. It's just understanding we're not going to play it unless we're specifically white-black. Okay, Pig 4 Rabid Bite is giving us some information. And it probably comes as a big surprise to a lot of people, but it looks like green may be open at this table. Yeah, it looks like blue-green or potentially black-green. Shinken, thank you for the raid. I'll spam some cats for Shinken. Are you a Magic streamer too? Cleric deck open? No. We have not seen anything to indicate that. I think I like the Bubble Snare. I think this leaves me the most open. Nice, Shinken. I'm typically a limited only streamer here. Yeah, okay, blue-green it is. And usually draft whatever formats are available in best of 3. We'll get the creatures later. This is a fine start to something. That's pretty good, Fuzzy. Huh. Do we want to leave Golgari open? I don't see a compelling reason not to, other than the squid is okay in this color combination. But let's leave this open as a possibility. Okay, cool. We'll just do green things. Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, it looks like we can do green things. Would I rather have the Kalini Ambush than the first cat? If I take the cat, it leans us a little more towards being able to do Golgari things if we'd like. But I think if I think I should take the uncommon here because there were two more cats that could wheel if that one did. Yeah, I'm just going to take the vampire here. I'm still not sure which of these two colors is going to be our secondary color, but green looks open to me. Yeah, I think I like the ambush a little better. Just a little better. Because I should have more opportunities for kittens. We'll find him a good home. I had a good time with the cube. I didn't super care for it in best of one because it seems like you kind of like if you're not forcing aggro decks, you're kind of doing it wrong. Whereas best of three, I could literally do whatever I wanted. Reclaim the Waste opens some potential. But this is pretty dang good in Golgari. I'm going to take this and consider it a Golgari card. Stomper I often play, so that probably just goes in. Yeah, we're deep enough on green that we don't really have to be committed to another color here. We can just sort of see what we open. Maul is arguably better than any of the cards we have currently if we're just looking for win rate. Yeah, there's literally nothing I would consider over it here. So that kind of puts us in a, like, could be anything for our secondary color now. I suppose adventure awaits. What was the next best card in that pack? Acquisitions expert? Like, we're not even sure that we're Golgari, and if we are, we don't even really need it. Thank you, Shinken. Happy New Year's to you as well, and thanks again for bringing your folks by. This is a pack I'd very much like to take a green card from, but there isn't one. Like, again, just looking at power level, I feel like taking the Raptor's the right call. The blue deck will miss the end of the Royal. The Golgari deck would miss this too. But like, Maul of Skyclaves just wins you games. I kind of like winning games when I'm given the opportunity to do so. Huge fan of that. Okay, Deadly Alliance is like maybe you want to reconsider? I still don't need it though. We've got 2 fight spells, or 1 fight spell and 2 all of the dentures or whatever. Yeah, I mean, Tizim Raptor's not a great card. This pack kind of stinks though. Well, Mesa Lynx is probably going to wheel. I'll take the Alliance. If Golgari's this open, I may have to play it. This draft is getting really weird, and I don't much care for it. I still think I like the green-white beatdown plan most of all. If black's crazy open, I'll get another Scion and move in on it. I'm kind of programmed to want Marasa Sproutlings, but I don't think I actually do right now. I think I want another Gnarlrid colony. I think the more flexibility I can get, the better. And I'm starting to become very interested in a spare supplies. Because we've kind of got a medium creature deck with a Sky Maul. Now, I don't want that to be the only thing we've got going for us, but Yeah, and it's not going to be. We'll have solid removal. The card advantage is going to be the issue, because we're not going to have any. God, the Golgari deck in my sideboard is almost better than this. I may not be able to play this. I feel like that's the signal we needed. White's actually open. Yeah, I think we should be looking for visionaries pretty highly now. That's not going to help us find what we're looking for. There's a possibility we end up splashing something like an Alliance. Maybe even a Blood Beckoning. Unlikely, though. Most of the green-white decks I've had have been really focused on landfall and abusing the 2/3 vigilance. That's something I've seen that a lot of people just won't pick. Cleric deck almost would have worked too. I don't think we're going to end up playing enough clerics to play that, but we'll see. It's at least a combat trick I like. 1-mana combat tricks are nice. Kind of interested in the Brightblade, kind of interested in the Ox. I think the Paragon's a pretty easy pickup. We're going to be playing not a lot of things that it can hit, but enough, and it's reasonable. It's just a 3/2 for 2. I think despite my best efforts, I've found myself building a deck that wants to curve out. Kind of decision time about splashing the Deadly Alliance. I'm still not 100% convinced that I need it, but what am I losing out of this pack if I take this duel? Not really anything. Yeah, honestly, I'd play the duel anyway, just to have the off chance of giving the cleric a counter. So I think the duel's just in the deck, and if we decide we'd like to splash, we can do that too. Sometimes it's hard to tell if green's actually open, but I feel like it might be this draft. There's yet another duel, so at this point I can play the Reclaim the Waste. We're pretty happy to hit the extra land drops anyway. I do want to spare supplies, but I feel like Reclaim the Waste can kind of fill that void and just make our mana even better. I'm going to have to play some stinkers here, because our creature count's a little too low for me to be taking another McKindy Ambush. I might just need this Ox. I really like having this with the Root Grazer because you can tap stuff on your opponent's turn. But I think it's still what we need here. And I want the Visionary and the Surge. I think I like the Surge better. It does cute things here. And it's good at breaking a board stall. I don't think we really want that. Do I just want to play a bazillion 3-mana 3/3s and try to just dig to this Maul of the Skyclaves? I think I might. All right. So we got us a little aggro deck. I don't hate it. Yeah, I'll play 2 Oxes, sure. That's enough playables there. Yeah, we can splash the Deadly Alliance. I'm not entirely sure we need to. I think I might anyway, but I probably want at least one combat trick in the deck. I mean, this is probably an upgrade. There's not a lot that we can get back with it, but it could potentially get this or the Surge. And it's just objectively better than the Brute, other than shenanigans with the Paragon, which I can also get back. So in a way, this plays better with it if you think about it. Well, it would make the Spring Mantle slightly better, but I can already play the Pathway to make the Spring Mantle slightly better. Yeah, and we're going to play the Reclaim anyway. So like that doesn't really matter. I do think I'm going to count this and the Shelter as a land, which means I've got room for one more card. This still leaves us 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. So our mana base is 9, 9. I screw that up a little bit if I bring in the Deadly Alliance. And like, what do we need it for? I've already got 4 kill spells potentially. Like, we could just play a Zendikar and be pretty happy with that. I could also just play a Resolute Strike or a Might of Marasa. I don't think you need it. Like, this is a combat trick I like a little better, just because it's so cheap. Like, there's times you know, play a 5-drop, have a land up. This is so easy to hold up. Could even swap them all around with it. Sold. We can bring in a Blood Beckoning. Or a Deadly Alliance if we think we need it. I'm not opposed to that. Let's do our Stream Raiders battle and see what we can do with this, because I think it is time for the boss fight. I think when you get the power up, all the rogues get the power up. So it's whatever unit gets to it first, it buffs everybody of that class. I guess you mainly want to make sure you get it before the boss does, so how is anybody other than rogues ever going to get to it? I like to be careful, Sven, about putting a card in my deck that's only good with one other card that's good by itself. That may be too many words to follow. But the basic idea is the Cute Swarm doesn't really need much help. It needs lands, but like I'm already putting lands in the deck. So like if I had a deck that was going wide some other way, which is kind of difficult to do in this format, and the Dauntless Unity was good anyway, I'd probably play it, and it's just a bonus if we ever get them together. We've got Dan with the kills, Thangarth with the assists, rewards for Jank, Thangarth, and Michael. Huzzah! We have defeated a boss. Yeah, we'll go for the blue chest here. So this is a defensive zone. Okay. You're going to need it because we're going to come in and smush you. Got retro factories, retro pet shops. The heck is this thing? Retro power plant? This could be interesting. All right, let's see if green-white stuff can get there. Let me know how the future is, Tommy. I imagine it's functionally impossible to sleep. Well then. You gonna have to get bit. Ain't got time for none of this. Aha! Uh-oh. Moo. Yeah, drafting is generally the best way to build up a collection if that's what you're about. For racing? Okay. They must have something good left over here if they want to trade 2 for 4. I presume it's a warrior. Or that. That bricks my team. Yeah, these lands aren't helping. I think I technically should have still held that in case we draw the cute swarm. But we are getting red-whited. Pretty heavily, too. I don't care for it. I wouldn't say never do anything, Thangarth. If you enjoy doing something, by all means do it. I think Quick Draft is a really good way to introduce yourself to Magic. If you're very new, it's worth the extra, like, % to have untimed drafts. Alright, so that was pretty brutal. We kind of flooded out hardcore. I think I'd rather have Zendikar than the combat trick. I tried to go aggro on him and then just flooded out. It didn't work. It's going to be difficult to fit more card advantage in here, and playing the Adept against them is a little scary because I think their deck's like just a bit faster than me. But this is what we got. Yeah, I think once you've learned a little bit about what you're doing, also, was it you that said you watched The Joy of Drafting Sleeping? Because if you've been drafting before watching that, after watching the series, your win percentage will go up significantly. We can get here if we draw another land or 3. Good to have reminders too, in my opinion. Man, I'm telling you, YouTube, I had a 3-0 and we were recording it, but I clicked the wrong button. And now we're going to get destroyed. Chat, you got to back me up here. You saw it. You know that that's what happened, right? I know you guys saw it. Which chat? So what I'm saying, YouTube, is if you want to watch me win, you can't do it here. You're going to have to come to the stream. Boop! Huh. Maybe. I can't remember what we played against with that one. But I would encourage you, like, if you're playing Magic, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, you're going to have games. I think I actually said this in the video yesterday, because that was a rough one too. But, like, you're going to have games where the outcome of the game was already predetermined for you. And this was one of those, and getting hung up on it just doesn't help. Like, I'd rather win, but like that was never happening. Yeah, so you would technically get a lot of people would say mana screwed or mana deprived. Aha, references. But the packs you're buying in the store are half packs, right? So you could technically buy 5 packs instead of drafting for 5,000 gold, but with the 5,000 gold, you get to pick from larger packs. Yeah, the only thing you're really missing out on is wild cards, potentially. Which I sometimes forget about because they don't have a lot of value to me. If you are, so here's the thing: if you don't want to play draft, if playing draft is zero value for you or you hate it, you should just buy the packs. Do what you want. But if you're looking to build your collection and you like to draft, you should draft. Okay. I could sort of see a line where this does something. Come here, I want to bite you. Nom 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 nom. Again, that kind of depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, why not just put them in play? It'd be better to do after the Ox, I guess. I mean, it is, but it's also a way to make them bad at draft so they don't enjoy it and or understand why they should play draft. You know? Because if their experience is drafting and then losing because they're drafting poorly, I don't think that's going to lead to them having a good time and appreciating the format. Like, if you actually pick the good cards, you can win even more. It's great. Doesn't matter what we tap because I'm going to kill both of these. Essentially, I mean, functionally kill them. Yeah, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. Now it gets first strike, right? That's it? I mean, that's good enough. If it dealt 8 this turn, I could not quite kill them next turn. It might be better to hold this. I don't really know what for. Land would let me aid them? How? Oh, it does put 2 counters on it. You're right. You like drawing cards? Let's draw some cards. Oh. I guess it lets you make Fwins and Commander. It's not very nice. I drew my rare. I was gonna win. And then I didn't. I don't like it at all. They told me Maul of the Skyclaves was unbeatable, so I picked it. And now I can't win with it. I mean, the problem there was not the Maul, it's that we had nobody to go shopping. A little more interested again in the Zendikar over the Resolute Strike. The Resolute Strike could have potentially won us a game there. Yeah, I suppose with quarantine restrictions in place, none of us should be going to the Sky Mall. I should have known better. My own fault, really. Well, Zendikar hasn't killed as many people as the pandemic, so... So, I don't know if this is the right time to break this to you, Exploding Things. But Zendikar is pretend. It's not actually real. Nahiri's not a real person. I think the first one goes out. That wasn't actually Nahiri, Michael. This hand has not developed well, and I feel bad for running this out. Our entire plan has been nixed by a 2-3. And there's two of them! Game over, man! That's pretty good, Michael. I still feel bad for the YouTubers because, like, we had multiple good drafts today. But as soon as I click that record button for the second time, it's like, no good. No good. I can't beat a 2-3. I mean, I guess we're playing around their Lol Mage's domination by not playing any cards good enough to take. Like, do you want to bounce any of this crap? Go ahead. Well, they couldn't really get us with a control effect now. We've got Shelter. Something bad's about to happen. I use they if you don't mind sleeping. We do not know the gender of our opponent. Time to ask you some questions. Doesn't matter, I'm still gonna kill it. Yeah, double strike doesn't work with Kalini. Well, I mean, it does and it doesn't. I know what you mean. I'll give it a go. This is probably our path to victory. Okay. What's up, God Gary? I am a big proponent of tier lists are not particularly useful. I think we just let this trade happen. I want to defend against the Lol Mage's domination. What I would encourage you to do instead, a Google should help you find somebody's tier list if you're looking for it. I don't use them, I don't make them, I don't think they're useful. What I think can be far more useful to you is learning how to draft via fundamentals and basics, which you can find out about by typing !joy in my chat. I think that short video series would help you probably a lot more. You don't need to know about synergy early. Because nobody else knows about it either. With them at 10, I'm tempted to send everything. Because I kind of need my creatures to be tapped anyway. Like, their best shot then would be to eat this, chump this, and take 3. I think I can beat that. I can't beat them having many more cards. Okay, that works too. Yeah, We're talking about different things. A set review can be very useful, Major Band Geek. That's not what a tier list is. A tier list is kind of like a pick order list. Like a long time ago, pros would list a pick order list for their people that go into the Pro Tour. It's basically a way for people who don't know how to draft to be able to be semi-competitive. Right? So you'd have somebody like Ben Stark make a tier list for people who didn't know how to draft, so they could just look at the cards and be like, okay, I pick this over this, and it's something that you memorize. Right? So if you're a constructed player who's looking to do 3 drafts, a tier list is very useful. But if you're actually looking to get into drafting, you don't want a tier list. You want a set review, and you want draft fundamentals. Yeah, and that's a reasonable place to start discussing things. I think something like that can be relatively early, but it also is kind of grouping things and there's explanation with it. I've tried doing set reviews where we don't rank the cards, and I don't think it's as useful because, like, you do need to kind of say, I think this is a good card, I think this is a bad card. Yeah, you can certainly pick it. You can pick any card you want to pick. I think we got this where we want it. I mean, you can play however you want to play. Yeah, me and the Mana League did a set review. That's on my YouTube also if you want to watch that. I don't know how useful it'll be now 3 months later because we played with a lot of the cards. Like my evaluation on a great number of them has changed. But I'm a big proponent of tier lists are for people who don't want to draft. This deck is flooded out every game. Don't stop now. All right. See you later. Enjoy your ham, Jess. I gotta be a grown up. Hey, they're milling me to the lands. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to play this out. It sucks because there's value I'm missing out on. Yeah, I think that's really good to do, again, at the beginning of a format. But I think if you're 3 months into a format, watching somebody's review or looking at a tier list is incredibly not helpful. Even at the beginning, I think knowing the fundamentals of drafting is going to make you better at drafting. Like I said, it depends on what your goal is. Dang it, Bobby! I did draft shrines for your birthday. I figured that was pretty important. It also depends on how much time you have to consume content prior to begin drafting something. Like back in the day when I had a commute to work, I would listen to limited resources pretty consistently because I had time. This hand was so close. And I could listen to a 4-hour set review, but like I can't do that anymore. Was fully expecting to get wrecked by a subtle strike there. Yeah, well, yeah, I would agree with you generally speaking there, Citremba. We're still in a good bit of danger, but maybe we can do something from here. I still think there's an argument to pay attention to cards on individual power level. That's something that's a hill upon which I will die. Is important. I think I gotta send one of these under the bus. Sucks. Well, that's pretty bad. What's a card somebody said could be built around that was amazing? The one I have in recent memory is Roost of Drakes. But like, I remember saying that about Relic Golem for this set review, and I don't think I would qualify that as amazing. It's okay. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're just super dead. I don't like it. But I don't think anybody has a perfect read on the format right when it comes out. I know I don't. All right, this one's super over. So we got our YouTube video for the day. Huh. Ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, thank you for tuning in and watching me draft a 0-2. I have the ability to do better, and we did have one recorded that was going better, but I clicked the wrong button. So if you want to see the wins, you're going to have to come to the Twitch channel. It's www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Hope we see you there. Hope you guys have a happy new year, and we'll catch you on the next one.